Welcome back, everybody, to Oberon's Outlook on Emotional Exchanges for the week of Friday, January 3rd through Thursday, January 9th. This is a weekly forecast for the astrological signs by elemental association, and we will try to uncover what kind of emotional ups or downs or situations will be going on in your life. So, we're going to start off right now, and we're going to go with our air signs. So those are signs like Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius. And first we're going to start off with our word for the week. And our word for the week is hostility. So we want to think about that word in anything that approaches an emotional up or down. Keep in mind that word of the week, hostility, for you air signs. So we're going to go ahead and shuffle our cards now. And our cut. And our three cards. The King of Wands, reversed. The Prince of Cups, upright. And the Queen of Cups. Well, this is a lot of emotionality. So keeping in mind our word hostility, what do we see here? The King of Wands could represent somebody who normally might have been a really magnetic, attractive, trustworthy individual, but now seems to be an interloper perhaps. And so we may find that some of our situations will be tainted with that. There's a fiery energy there that is just as likely to lead us the wrong way, to be overly ambitious, to be deceptive perhaps to some degree. So we want to watch. That's probably something about that hostile word we're getting there. Now with the Prince of Cups, we're seeing some things where somebody is maybe prone to think almost intuitively about situations. And so we're finding that this is maybe what we have to rely on, is rather than see ourselves being hostile in the situation, we need to think outside of the box a little bit and try to bring some of our intuitive and poetic nature to bear on some of these ups and downs. Lastly, with the Queen of Cups in our upright position, this is a person who also will bring balance to the situation, or these are qualities within ourselves, and they basically are promoting the better application of our heartfelt energies, our emotional imagination, if you will, the way we can think about situations and maybe resolve them in a kinder and beneficent way. So once again, that's what was going on with our air signs. Watch out for hostile overreaching, rely upon our intuition, and try to use emotional balance. So now we're going to move on to the fire signs. And these are signs like Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. And they have a word of the week too, consummation, which may also fit in with the idea of emotional relationships. The consummation is usually some sort of completion. It implies the sexual completion. It doesn't necessarily have to be that. It just could mean that as a word of the week, we may be thinking about that word when those kind of situations are possibly present. Let's go ahead and just shuffle the cards and see what this is that we're talking about. Okay, we have our three cards. We have the Six of Wands reversed. We have the Seven of Discs upright. And then we have a Two of Swords reversed. So, wands are fire energy, and you have two of them here, or you have one rather. And it's the Six of Wands reversed. So, I am thinking that this card seems to imply there are definitely ups and downs going on in your emotional situations this week. I'm getting the feeling here that to some degree we are we are feeling that we're finding a hard time going on and moving on, and that what the Seven of Discs does to relate to that is more or less indicating that there's a real pause going on here, a sense of really taking time out to consider one's actions, and that maybe one is not necessarily sure they are moving forward correctly in the emotional exchanges of our life. The Two of Swords also seems to indicate that there's this pause here and this time to maybe consider a new path. And we're just wondering if we really understand what that takes. It may be that what fire signs are going to see is an opportunity to advance themselves, possibly at the price of some footing in their emotional relationships. I get the feeling that maybe somebody's going to be stepping on somebody's toes a little bit, and that this may cause all of this reevaluation. So I think that's what's going on for fire signs. Hopefully that it does not play overly wrongly. Here's the water signs are next. And those are signs like Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. And by their very nature, they tend to have more of an emotional outlook or part of life. And their word of the week is dissension. And dissension would almost be the opposite of the last one, consummation. Dissension sort of represents things that are being rent asunder. So that's what's going on maybe in the water signs. Apply that word as you can. But we may be finding that there are some bigger changes going on in those emotional lives too. So we're doing our cut. Drawing our 3 cards. And here we go. We have the Two of Cups upright. We have the Four of Discs reversed. And then we have a Ten of Wands reversed. So what does this mean? Well, the Two of Cups shows harmony in some relationships that we're having. So that does seem to be okay. But maybe that is being balanced again, a need to really let go of a lot of things. And part of what you're letting go of is attachments to material things. And remember, our word for the week is dissension. So I'm thinking we are reviewing to some degree maybe some of our closest relationships, and we are wondering truly if we're going on with them or if maybe we're considering other things. The Ten of Wands reversed indicates a need to be free or a need to find a way to free yourself from certain burdens. So it may be that some of our inner workings will be focusing on how we see our relationships and whether they are lasting. No decision will necessarily be made, but I do feel that is that inner working with water signs at this time. So now we're going to move on to our final elemental association. It's the earth signs. So those are signs like Taurus and also signs like Virgo and Capricorn. more practical. And what do they get? They get the word of the week testimony. So what does that mean for them? Well, I guess it means to some degree that they are the persons who are counted on to have the most truth or the most accuracy, the most evidence-based data. And that sounds like earth signs that I know, that basically their approach to anything in the emotional realm may actually cover it more from a less emotional realm, more of just the facts. So we're going to cut the deck and see what we got going on for those guys. And I'm drawing my cards. Oh. You know, I always believe that the cards are correct most of the time, even if we don't understand why, because they just get so many things that corroborate. You know, a perfect card for some of the earth signs is, in fact, the devil, because the devil does talk about our material attachments, and that's earthly. Ten of Discs is also a card of earthiness, because this is talking about our partnerships or our foundation that we have from working with our families or our families of choice, and how we expect and get a certain level of what it means to be part of a family, having the support monetarily and otherwise. They're there to bail you out or to give you money as a loan if you need it. And then, though, finally, we do have the Tower reversed, and this is the only sour note, because it could be saying that despite these things, or because of these things, we're still missing the point. We're not seeing some connection. And so I'm afraid that what this is saying is that you two earth signs are going through something where you have a decision to make, and that decision may involve you not really understanding the lessons you need right now. And probably for earth signs, I'm just going to sum this up and say it's accuracy in our relationships with others, that maybe we're just not being totally honest about what we want and what we expect to receive and what we expect to have to give. That's what I see going on for earth signs. So I thank you once again for joining me, Oberon, part of TFT Tarot for Today, Oberon's Outlook on Emotional Exchanges. And this covers the week starting today, Friday, January 3rd, running through Thursday. So check us out again next Friday, and you will see, once again, another installment of Oberon's Outlook on Emotional Exchanges.